Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nadia Husna binti Azmi. My metric number is 1212041. I would like to present the Jewish ethics or ethical system of Judaism. Before discussing this topic in more depth, it is appropriate to first recognize the origin of the emergence of the Jewish religion. For introduction, Judaism is actually one of the heavenly or derived religions that is a part of Abrahamic religions that includes Christianity and Islam. Then Judaism is also a religion that adheres to the concept of monotheism, which believes that God is one and only. For history and development of Judaism, it can be classified into four periods. The first one is ancient times, the second is the Hellenic Greek, the third is diaspora exile period, and the last one is establishment, the state of Israel. Besides that, in the Jewish religion, there are also many books and texts that are used as a source or the reference in their lives. Among them are Tanakh, Midrash, Responsa, and Zohar. In addition, they also have the Talmud book, that means an oral law, which is an interpretation of lectures on the law from the prophets and the scholars. Next, the book of Talmud has also been divided into two parts known as Mishnah and Gemara. Furthermore, it is also contains verses that have elements of Jewish Sharia called as Halakha and the Jewish historical legends that called as Agadah. As a result, these books have a great impact on the Jews in teaching them how to be an ethical person in life. For the next discussion of this video, I will pass it to the other members. Thank you.
My name is Siti Noibtisamit Ibrahim. My metric number 1212088. I would like to explain a little about the meaning of the definition of ethics and the meaning of ethics according to Judaism. The word ethics comes from the Greek word ethos, which can mean custom, habit, character, or conduct. Ethics are a system of moral principle and a branch of philosophy that used to study ideal human behavior and ideal ways of being. Morality has been described as action and behavior related to good or bad, or particular traditions, groups, or individual. The ethics of Judaism. Judaism is typically viewed as a way of life based on the Mosaic law and its rabbinic interpretation, but ethics as in a moral philosophy is a discussion of rationally supported human perfection. Many modern Jewish theologians and philosophers have argued that the worldview of the biblical prophets is deeply moral and that their ethic in the sense of a set of rules of conduct, implicit or explicit in their oracles, is the inner principle of the entire development of the Jewish religions. Jewish ethics value individual uniqueness by eliminating discrimination. The basis, validity, and source of Jewish ethics are rooted in the Bible, rabbinic literature, and ethical works. The text in Leviticus chapter 19, verse 18 mentions Jewish ethics by saying, "You should not take vengeance or bear a grudge against the sons of your own people, but you shall love your neighbor as yourself. I am the Lord." There are three purposes of Jewish ethics. Firstly, to obey God, and that obedience is based on the Torah. Secondly, to establish order among contradictory demands and harmonize the opposing claims that arise in social interaction. Thirdly, to create the moral person who contains the virtues required for the acquisition of wisdom, which result in the knowledge of God. Next, I will share and explain three Jewish ethical systems. The first, being in the image of God and human dignity. Humans are in the image of God is to recognize the special qualities of human nature which allow God to be made manifest in humans. The image of God also shows the relationship between God and man. Human beings are the object of inalienable right based on their inherent dignity. However, on the basis of her capacity to focus on what is right and follow the categorical imperative in her moral life. Besides, God's holiness is the model for all human expressions of dignity, each of them imitating the dignity that is due to the divine. There are 5 dignity dues, namely: 1. Dignity due to all creatures. 2. Dignity due to the community. 3. Dignity due to one's parent. 4. Dignity due to the majority. 5. Dignity due to the rabbi. And then there are some Jewish practices that can increase human dignity. Firstly, behave well and respect others to protect the dignity of yourself and others. Secondly, caring about education to increase knowledge and be able to live in dignified condition. Thirdly, get involved in volunteer activities to help the less fortunate. The second, Jewish family ethics. Marriage and family relationship are an important part of life, but broader values and strengths also influence marriage and family life. Judaism recognizes that each parent has something different to give to their children to contribute to their religion's educational, emotional, social, and material needs. Among the Jewish ceremonies that can be done together with the family at home are Shabbat. The Shabbat is of particular importance in a Jewish home. Shabbat is related to the Hebrew verb cease or rest. Jewish law requires Jews to refrain from various acts of work on the Sabbath in commemoration of God's cessation of creativity on the 7th day of creation. Shabbat is primarily a day of rest and spiritual enrichment. There are 5 orders of operation Jews do on the Shabbat. 1. Light. By lighting the candles, begin the transition from the week to Shabbat, from the moon day to the holy. 2. Sanctify. By taking a moment to bless the wine, acknowledge joy as a value unto itself, not as it serves something else. 3. Cleanse, a formal practice of washing hands that recalls an ancient practice during temple times when Shabbat was accompanied by special offerings. 4. Nourish. Shabbat is a time to enjoy halal, a bread. 5. Appreciate. Friday night is a time to end meals with intention. Hanukkah. The Hebrew word means rededication and is an 8-day Jewish holiday commemorating the rededication of the Holy Temple, the second temple in Jerusalem. It is also called the Feast of Dedication or Festival of Lights. Furthermore, Hanukkah is a celebration of casting great influences out of Jewish life and returning to God's instruction for life and worship. Here, 3 Jewish traditions during Hanukkah. Firstly, light the menorah. Jews light the menorah is a candelabra, adding an extra candle each night until there are 9 candles on the last night. Jews light the menorah to commemorate the menorah from the holy temple. Secondly, make or eat fried foods. The 2 most common are latkes, which are fried potato, pancakes, and souvenirs, which are fried jelly donuts. This symbolizes the miracle oil that burned for each night. Thirdly, Paladridle is a 4-side spinning top, win or loss depending on liter or dreidel. The goal is to collect as much geld as possible. The last one is charitable giving or tzedakah. Tzedakah in Hebrew means righteousness, fairness, or justice. Also means giving to the poor and the needy. In Judaism, giving to the poor is not viewed as an act of generosity. It is simple an act of justice, the performance of a duty, giving the poor the due. It is about contributing to the common good and helping fellow human beings. Sedekah refers also to tikkun olam, healing of the world. The Jewish mandate to fix the world because it views poverty as unjust and the man's role as correcting such a situation, healing the divine correction. There are three main levels in sedekah. Firstly, at the highest level, people will help the poor by giving them gifts or loans and helping them find jobs. Secondly, someone who gives alms to the needy without the recipient knowing. Thirdly, one who knows to whom he gives, but the recipient does not know his benefactor.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Balqis binti Muhammad Nurain, number matrix 12120069. Next, I will tell and explain the characteristics of Jewish ethics. First, the Jewish are more concerned with each other's moral attitude. For Jewish people, this moral nature encompasses the words of conscious humans, which is truth, emotions, intentions, motive, and attitudes. Everyone should have honesty and fairness in themselves. Second, family members play an important role in forming a good society and also continue their religious traditions. This is because they believe is coming from the Ten Commandments, which is number 5. Honor your father and mother. This sentence is about the relationship between family members. Third, for Jewish, all humans should treat animals well because they are living beings. The Rabbinic Judaism adopted many of its terms for ethical behavior from biblical usage, but reshaped some and added many others on its own. For example, the rabbis of classical Judaism and the authors of medieval legal and ethical works display particular concern for maintaining respect for human beings and directing human impulse into channels that protect dignity and reputation of individual. That's all.
My name is Wana Farhana bintu Abdul Rahman. My matrix number 121223. Today, I want to discuss about law and principle of the Jewish ethics. Jewish ethics, also called Jewish moral philosophy, comprises the moral principle, values and instructions that have been developed in Judaism. Jewish ethics are primarily concerned with action and behavior, which are viewed as the key means by which individual can cultivate a relationship with God and achieve their highest potential as a human beings. There are several key principles that underlie Jewish ethics. The first one is the belief in a single, all-powerful God who has revealed himself to humanity through the Torah. Second one is the belief in the inherent dignity and worth of each individual, regardless of their social status or background. And the last one is Jewish ethics emphasize the importance of compassion and kindness and encourage individuals to uphold this value in all the dealing with others. So you can see at the screen, this is some of the major law and principle of Jewish ethics. Include the first one is sedekah, yakni charity. This is the practice of giving to the less fortunate members of society, which is considered a cornerstone of Jewish ethics. And the second one is tikkun olam, repairing the world. This concept is based on the belief that as human, we have a duty to work making the world a better place. Third, kavod habrut. I don't know how to pronounce this, but it's okay. The means is respect for all creation. This principle emphasizes the need to treat all living beings with respect and dignity. And the last one is Ahvat Israel, love for fellow Jews. This concept emphasizes the importance of caring and support members of the Jewish ethics. Overall, Jewish ethics is about leading a moral life and striving to fulfill one's obligation to both God and other human beings.
My name is Nur Fatiha binti Abdul Latif, metric number 1212082. In conclusion, in everyday life, we are often familiar with the term norm or rules, which is usually meant as a value that regulate and provide specific guideline or standard for each person or community to behave and act in accordance with the rules. As a region that have a culture, Jews have rules that regulate with their life of all followers of the Jewish religions in their daily life, including ethics. Jewish ethics is a norm or rule that apply to the Jewish community from the past to the present. Jewish ethics involve issue is Jewish law as well as non-legal issues. And then, in interacting and in carrying out daily activities, the Jewish community has rules and ethics that come from their scripture. Jewish ethics are derived from the Torah. In addition, the rules and ethics used by the Jews are mostly taken from the Talmud books because it contains more rules that suit their life. Thus, Jewish ethics govern many things in Jewish life, from the abortion, circumcision, conception, speech, marriage to war. These teachings are used as guidelines for their life so that they can be expressed in ethical action. Finally, it can be said that Jewish ethics are ethics based on the ethical consideration in every area of life, where people must continue to their best to live according to their will. Result of Jewish ethics, ethical system of Judaism. Thank you.